Hey everyone, we're just going to get started in a few minutes on this Forta Detection Bot Wizard workshop, and we'll give people a few minutes to trickle in. Okay, we'll try this again. So, hey everyone, welcome to this workshop for the Forta Detection Bot Wizard. My name is Hasib, and I'm one of the core developers on Forta. First, a little bit about Forta. It is a decentralized real-time security and monitoring system for your smart contracts and your Web3 applications. And Forta is made up of two main components, one of which is called detection bots, and the second, which is called scan nodes. So detection bots are can be thought of as security cameras that are continuously monitoring the blockchain to look for a specific condition that you, as a developer, have programmed it to look out for. And scan nodes can be thought of as the alarm system that are responsible for running the detection bots and providing them data from the blockchain to uh, run their monitoring logic upon. So in this workshop, we're going to be focusing more on the first part, which is detection bots. And we're going to be going over a tool that will, you'll see, makes it very easy to create security cameras for your smart contracts. First, a little bit of background on the project itself. The wizard came about in our efforts to simplify the detection bot development process. So historically, you've had to be a developer. You have to know how to code, how to build a Docker image, and how to use our command line tool to push that image to Forta. But this is a pretty high barrier to entry, and we wanted to make it very simple to create detection bots. And we also want to make it very easy to reuse code for monitoring as much as possible. So we ended up creating this concept of templates, which are detection bots that you can simply configure inside of a JSON file, and you don't have to touch any of the code. But then taking this idea a little bit further, we wanted to create a no-code way to build a detection bot and set up monitoring for your smart contracts without even having to know, what a JSON file is or what any sort of coding concepts are. So this is what led us to the creation of the Forta detection bot wizard. And we're going to dive right into a demo of this wizard. And to use it, you have to navigate to app.forta.network. And this will bring you to the Forta app. If you're a user, you're probably familiar with this tool. And from here, you can subscribe to alerts that are fired by detection bots. And you can also discover other detection bots that members of the community have written. But we're going to be focusing on the bot wizard. And I'm going to sign in order to use this. Great. So I'm signed in, and we are looking at the detection bot wizard interface. And we're going to walk through a very simple example for monitoring events. So if I click on this drop down, I can see all the different types of templates that are available to me, right? So you can monitor events, you can monitor for specific function calls, you can monitor an account balance. And then we have a bit more, some more complex templates like something like a detection bot that looks out for wash trading in an NFT collection. We also have a time series analyzer, which we'll go over later in this workshop, as well as a bridge-related template that can monitor for differences in balances on two sides of a bridge. So there's some interesting templates over here. We're going to go with monitor events, right? And we can see that the estimated build time for this is 1 minute. And yeah, this description tells us that this detection bot will look for specific events emitted from the contract addresses that we tell it to look out for. And if you are technically inclined and you want to actually look at the code of how this works, you can click on view source code, and it'll take you to the GitHub repository for this bot, and you can snoop around here and take a look at the code. But we're not going to do that. We're just going to continue, and we are going to configure our contracts first. So I'm going to click this add button in the contract section. and I want to tell the wizard which contracts it should be monitoring. So you can look across contracts on all of these supported chains uh, that Forta supports. We're going to look at the Fort token from Forta, which lives on Ethereum mainnet. So we're going to select Ethereum there. And I'm just going to copy the address for the Fort token over from my other window that you can't see. And I'm going to click Load ABI. This will investigate the contract at that address, and it'll query for the ABI, which will tell us the possible events that can be emitted from this contract. And we're just going to call this contract Fort. And now we want to specify the events that we're going to monitor for. So again, we're going to click on this drop down, and this is populated from the ABI. So these are all the different events that this Fort token contract has and can emit. And we are going to select transfers because we want to know when any Fort token is transferred. So we're going to click transfer. Finding type and finding severity are a way for you to sort of categorize any alerts that are fired from this detection bot. So right now we're going to leave these to the default as info. But for instance, if you were looking for a more serious condition that you wanted to mark as an exploit or something that degrades functionality, you could select that from here as well. Also, this last field over here, which is marked as optional, it allows you to specify more complex conditions on this particular event. So, for instance, if I wanted to only get notified about transfers from a particular address, then I would type in a conditional expression of from equals, and I would enter some sort of address. And another option that I could do, and this is complaining because this is a contract uh, address. I believe that's why it's complaining. But another sort of condition you could look for is, for instance, value. So you want to know something. You only want to know transfers that are over, 1,000 Fort. You could type that in over here. Just one thing to note is that this will be in the decimal units of the token you are monitoring. So Fort token has 18 decimals. So I would need to add 18 zeros after this in order to achieve what I'm looking for. But for now, we're just going to leave this blank, and we're going to hit continue. And now we can see that we have told it our contract address. We have told it the event we want to look for. And we're going to go ahead and click continue, which should build this detection bot for us. Okay, click continue once more. And we can see that the spinner is going, and this is building our detection bot for us. So the estimated build time for this was about 1 minute. And this will vary based on the template that you select, as well as the amount of traffic on the wizard, but this should complete within a minute. And once this is done, the next step is going to be just deploying this to the Forta network. And again, that's going to be through the UI. So we're not going to be looking at any code whatsoever. So we'll just give this a few more seconds. Okay, awesome. So we see that our bot was successfully generated, and we can either click on deploy bot to continue to deployment, or we can just copy the image reference. For instance, if we wanted to deploy this bot later, or we just wanted to share this bot image reference with someone else who wanted to deploy it, you could do that. But for now, I'm just going to click on deploy bot. And this will take you to a screen that, if you're a Forta developer, you're probably familiar with. This is the deployment form for your new detection bot. And you'll see that some of these fields are pre-populated, but the main one that was populated by the wizard is this Docker image. So this is what contains the monitoring logic, and this is what will tell the scan node what to run for your security camera. Um, I'm not going to go through the whole deployment process here, but I just wanted to take you end to end from through the wizard and show you that it brings you to a familiar deployment screen, and you can easily fill in these fields and click the button to deploy. Okay, awesome. So that was a pretty straightforward example. We're now gonna go through a slightly more complex template. So let's click back on Bot Wizard, and this time let's select the time series analyzer. And from the description, we can see that this bot applies some time series analysis to a noisy alert and notifies on significant deviations. So what that means is this will look at the alerts from another detection bot that maybe is emitting a lot of alerts. And this will tell us if it emits alerts that are out of the normal range for that detection bot. And again, you can click on view source code, and you can go and take a look at how exactly it's doing this. Internally, it's using Facebook's open source Profit library, but let's continue using this through the wizard. So I'm going to click continue, and we see that the form for this template is different since it's looking out for different things. So I'm just going to enter in some values that I have. So I have this bot ID. So this is a Forta detection bot that already exists, and it is detecting reentrancy calls. So if a smart contract calls itself multiple times, that's reentrancy, and this bot is monitoring for that. And we're also going to provide it a contract address so that we're only looking for alerts that involve this particular contract address. And then we'll see some parameters here that are filled in for us by default. But essentially, yeah, if you want to click on the tooltip or just hover over the tooltip here, you'll find out what this field means. And we see that this is uh, telling us, the size of the bucket in which we'll aggregate the alerts from this detection bot. We're also seeing that a training window. This is essentially how far back you want to look to train your time series model. And typically this should be about a 1 week period. And we see an example that it should be a 1 week period that, if you multiply your training window by your bucket window, that should come up to about 1 week. And we also have an interval width, which allows us to define, the confidence in the interval size, where larger values will indicate higher confidence in the alert fired from this bot. So the estimated build time for this was about 2 minutes. So I'm just going to click continue, and that will kick off the build process. And we'll just give this a minute or two to complete. But hopefully, going through these two example templates has demonstrated how easy it is to set up a detection bot for your smart contracts. In the future, we'll be adding more templates to the wizard, and we'll go over the future roadmap momentarily. But yeah, it looks like this. Time series analyzer bot is built for us. And again, click on deploy bot, and we can see that it's populated the image over here for us. Yeah, so this was just a really quick demo to show you how easy it is to now build detection bots using this bot wizard. Another thing I want to point you out to is the documentation. So if you want to go through more detailed written documentation, you can check out our docs over here. And this will go over a similar example as I went through in this workshop, but you can also have that for your reference. Yeah, so looking ahead, in the future roadmap for the detection bot wizard, obviously we want to continue improving the UI and making sure that you don't have to click around too much and that the fields are clear. Also, we're going to be adding more templates so that you can do more different types of monitoring. And we're always listening to the community to, guide us on what sort of templates you want and that you're looking for. And also, we'll obviously continue improving the build times. Right now, the templates, most of them are 1 minute, but some of them that are more complex ML bots can go up to 2 minutes. But also, an interesting feature that we have further down the roadmap is a way to provide a way to enable anyone to provide their own templates to the wizard. So if you have your own GitHub repository of templates that you want other people to be able to use, we're going to build a way for you to do that, so that it'll only expand the selection of detection bots that you have at your disposal. Yeah, so that brings us to the end of this workshop, and I wanted to open up the floor to any questions that we have. Um, let's see here. Okay, here we go. So we see some, well, I see one question here from Igor. May you add context menu for main token IDs? Yeah, that's a good suggestion. So that you could, I assume you're referring to the event monitoring bot where we entered the contract address. So yes, right now you would have to sort of scoot over to Etherscan and find out the token and its address. But yeah, I think that's a great suggestion. If you could just type in the name of the token and populate the address that way. I think that's a great suggestion. Yeah, I'm not seeing any more questions, but yeah, I encourage all the viewers to ask anything. Um, and Okay, awesome. It looks like those are all the questions that we had. So we'll wrap up this workshop at this point. You can obviously always reach out to us on Discord, and we're more than happy to answer any questions that you may have. But yes, thanks for watching this Detection Bot Wizard workshop, and we'll see you out there.